Everyone doing this beautiful sunny, you can see the sun coming in on this side of the room. Sunny Saturday morning, getting ready to kick off the day officially. So I wanted to jump on here and say hello to all of you. And I also wanted to bring up a topic that I know a lot of people struggle with, and that is being stuck. And last night we did a live call and we were discussing business stuff, but a lot of it comes down to getting stuck and how do you get unstuck. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning on this coffee session with Scott. All right. If you guys could do me a favor, let me know that everything is working before we kick this off. If you guys are in the comments, let me know that you're there. Let me know that you're seeing this, you're hearing this, and we can go from there. Again, I'm going to keep this short today, probably like 15 minutes. I've got some notes here that I want to cover, but if you struggle at all with like, I've been wanting to do this thing, or, I know I got to do this thing, but I just been putting it off, then you're going to want to stick around. I got a couple of things I want to share with you that I think could really, really help you. So I want to make sure that was going. So Instagram, that's for you as well. And this here is for Facebook and YouTube and Periscope, if anybody's there from Periscope. Hey, Charles from Georgia. What's up, man? How you doing? How are things in Georgia? Lockdown, I'm sure of that, right? So the other thing I want to know here real quick, before we officially kick this off is there anything that you feel like that you've just been putting off, or there's just something that you're like, I just need to wait until I have this thing figured out and then I'm going to do my thing? Let me know that. Hey, Karen, good morning to you as well. Welcome to another morning coffee talk, and you're always there. And Pat has a question here about being indexed or de-indexed. Yeah, I do have some thoughts on that, Pat. We can talk about that really quickly. Salima, what's up? And it's really cool to see the regulars. You know how you go into a coffee shop and you see like the regulars, or maybe it's the local bar or something. I'm thinking more along the coffee aspect. But yeah, if you ever have that coffee shop, you're like, hey, John, how you doing? Good. How you doing? Scott, great. Yep. Hey, Bob. Hey, Sally, how you doing? Right. That's what it's kind of like here with Coffee with Scott. So if you guys don't know, this is like my 14th Coffee with Scott, which started off as I'm just going to do one and see what happens. And it seems like you guys are enjoying it. So I'm going to continue these for a while and we'll see what happens. So again, just wanted to jump in here and say happy Saturday. The sun is shining. The sun is bright. So you know what? Yes, we're facing a crazy time in the world right now with this pandemic and everything. And yeah, it's crazy. But in the same breath, the sun is out. My family is healthy. Hopefully your family is healthy. Maybe there's things that you can think about that you can feel grateful for. Because I think that's what we need to do, is we need to be grateful for what we have. And then we can just, go from there, right? And hopefully take that along with us and create some positivity. Charles in the house. What's up, Charles? My regular job is supply chain in a large medical center, so it's tough. I bought some supplies on AliExpress with knowledge I learned from you. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to be helping people, like I know some people, I had a one guy that he had a direct connection with a manufacturer that could create masks because we're so low on masks. And he did it totally as like a give, you know what I mean? Like he was doing it just out of the kindness of his heart. And I think that's really cool. Oh, Salama, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm grateful for you and the time you are spending with us every day. I appreciate you. And that means a lot to me. So thank you for that, Salama. I appreciate that. All right. We're going to kick it off. All right. Also, what are you guys drinking today? What is in your cup today? Let me know that in the comments. We always need to know what's in your cup today. You know what mine is. Actually, if you guys are regular guests on the show or, visitors, I always say show. It's not a show. This isn't a podcast. I'm so used to doing my podcast. What's in my cup today? What's in my black cup today? That'll be the trivia question of the day. Salama says green juice. That sounds good, maybe. Karen, coffee and toast. Nice. Green juice with Salama. Okay. So, all right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right. So last night I decided last minute to do a live one of these, right, at like 10 o'clock at night. And the reason why I did it was because we were closing Brand Creators Academy and people had questions. I was receiving emails all day. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a Facebook Live. I'll jump on there, answer questions, and then I'll also do like a niche drill down. So if you were there last night, you know that niche drill down was crazy, by the way, right? Like we were drilling down into this one niche and it was crazy. The opportunities are really, really awesome. And Charles, yes, you're right. Bulletproof. Yes, okay. So one thing came up that it comes up a lot, but I want to give you like 3 things that you can do right now that'll get you out of this. I'm going to call it a funk because, and this happens to all of us, but when I go through these 3 different steps, this exercise, it always helps me. It always gets me unstuck. So if you are struggling right now with like, ooh, I don't know if that's the right product, or, oh, I'm going to wait until I figure out my best product, or, oh, I'm going to wait until I have the perfect niche, or, oh, I'm going to wait until I'm a better writer, or, oh, I'm going to wait until I'm better on video, right? Like that's all excuses really to make it so we don't do anything yet. Because if we don't do anything, we can't get a result. So if we can't even get a result, we can't really fail, right? Because we're like, well, I'm not doing it yet, so I guess I didn't fail yet, right? So we have this self-doubt that's baked in, and we got to get rid of that. So we got to get unstuck. And the only way that we can get unstuck is to actually do, right? Is to actually take action. So the story that I want to share with you is last night I had a lady on, and she was like, I just feel like I want to wait because she was contemplating joining Brand Creators Academy. The reason why she didn't want to join, which by the way, she did end up joining, but she didn't want to join because she was like, I don't know if I have my market and my niche selected yet. And so I'm going to wait until you open again in the next 3 months. Like, so in 3 months, I'll have the niche selected and then I'll do it. I just don't think if I don't have my niche, it's not going to work for me, which isn't true because we actually help inside of the academy with choosing a niche and we help you get through that. But I asked her this question. I said, well, let me ask you this. How long have you been looking for your market and your niche right now? And she said, well, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but about a year. And I said, well, what's the difference between a year and the next 3 months between now and then? Like, what's the difference? And she's like, nothing. I'm just going to do it. And I'm like, well, why didn't you do it before? Right? And I wasn't picking on her. I was just trying to make her think it through. What is going to make her change to make the decision and to go in on a market or a niche, right? And so we had to kind of identify that. And then she's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I probably will be here again in 3 months talking to you, contemplating joining Brand Creators Academy because I don't have my niche selected yet, even though I said that I was going to select it in the next 3 months, which you might not, right? And most likely probably won't, okay? So a lot of people struggle with this because, and I have this a lot where they're like, Scott, I don't want to build my brand yet until I know my product. And to me, that's just a way for you to stall, right? Because it's going to take a while for you to figure out your hero product, your best seller, right? And so to me, whenever we're doing that, we're doing it because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that we can actually achieve what we're trying to do. So a way to stall that so we don't fail is we just procrastinate, right? Or we get analysis paralysis, right? We're like, well, It's got to be perfect, and the numbers need to be right, and the data needs to support it, and this has to be perfect, and that has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be close. And then the other thing that I said was when you actually do something, you actually start to learn through the process. So if we don't, like, so I'm just using this as an example. So if we don't pick a niche, we can't build a website. If we can't build a website, we can't create content. If we can't create content, we can't get traffic, right? So we need to get that one problem solved. So now the next problem would be like, okay, I got my niche selected. Now I don't know how to build a website. Well, that's easy. Let's just go ahead. It's not easy, but it's easy to figure out. That's one question, one problem, right? We address that. We overcome that. Once we get that, the next question would be, okay, well, now I got to get content created. How do I create content? We'll deal with that now, but we don't deal with that here, right? But in order to get here, we got to get this part figured out, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So in order to get momentum, we have to actually do. We have to take action, as I say all the time. I'm surrounded by it. Take action. Take action. Take action. All the way up there, right? It's everywhere because I believe it's actually over there too. You can't see it over here. I can do it for Instagram. Look at take action over there, right? It's everywhere because I believe in it, right? If you take an action, you will see a result, whether that's a result that is positive or negative. But we can't get that result if we don't do something, right? So this thing over here that you're thinking about, and I'm actually trying to figure out, is it the right market? I don't know. What's the formula? How many searches does it have to have? How many products does it have to be selling? Is there a certain price point that it has to be selling for? Like all of these things, they're just confusing and really clouding. Now, I'm not saying we don't validate. I say we validate and then we pick, right? But we don't have to have everything figured out. That's a way to procrastinate. So I do have a few things that I want to share with you. All right. And there's 3 things. So again, these coffee talks that I'm doing are really about you to be able to say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I go, do this here, do this exercise. It won't take you long. And then from there, hopefully you're going to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And then you take that action. And that can be the moment that changes where you have been to where you want to go because you actually took action. So that's what this is all about, okay? Doesn't have to be hard. It just means that you have to do something, okay? So, okay, this is about asking yourself the right questions, okay? When you ask a question to yourself, guess what happens? Your brain tries to answer it, right? So it's like, I wonder how much coffee this holds. Let me look. And then I might go get a measuring, a measuring cup. And I might go, oh, that holds 16 ounces. Let me put water in it and see. Oh yeah, it's 16 ounces, right? So I have to ask the question in order for my brain to say, how would I figure that out, right? So you got to ask those questions. So here it is, okay? So number 1 question that you need to ask yourself right now is, what has me stuck, okay? And you can call it stuck. You can call it like I'm having a problem with this thing. Whatever it is, there's something probably right now that is either holding you back from growing your business or something holding you back from starting your business. It doesn't matter where you are in your business. And as you grow, there will be new things that will appear. Trust me, okay? So number 1 question, okay? You might even want to take a notepad and sit down and play this back and go, okay, here they are. And I'm going to give them to you. Okay. So number 1, answer this question. What has me stuck? Question mark. Write that on that piece of paper. And then I want you to answer it honestly. Okay. What is that thing that's in your way right now? So for this lady last night, her thing was, I'm stuck trying to find my niche. Okay. So that's the problem. That is I'm sticking point, right? So now we have to overcome that. Okay. So now, again, it can be, can't find a niche. It can be, I don't have a product picked. It could be, I'm not good on video, so I can't do video. It could be any of that stuff, right? But we're using the niche example here because that was the one that was relevant to last night, okay? So now, number 2, how can I get that figured out? So how would you figure out? How would you pick a niche? Well, I did a validation process last night. I've done it on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's videos on my channel right now. I just did 2 of them this past week. They're niche drill downs. Okay. You can go and watch them for free, and it will show you exactly the process that I follow every single time. Okay. That's all you got to do. If you go to brandcreators.com right now, you're going to get a free checklist that will allow you to go through that process. So that would be a good time for me to let you know that as well. Let me go ahead and put that up. Okay. If you go to brandcreators.com, that is where you will find that checklist. All right. And again, guys, if you have any quick questions, drop them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I do want to make this one short today, or shorter. They've been going a little bit longer than I expected. And I want to keep these 30 minutes or less. And you guys too over here on Instagram. All right. So brandcreators.com will give you that checklist. All right. All right. So now let me move on. Go back to my notes here. All right. So the question is, okay, what has me stuck? Let's say it is I can't find a niche. I'm stuck on trying to find my perfect niche. Number 2, how can I get that figured out? Well, I can go through the checklist, and then I can, figure that out by going through that on maybe 3 different niches that I'm interested in. Okay. Now, the last one here, this is number 3. And this is a big one, guys. This is huge. All right. How long do I have until I have to make a decision? Let me say that again. How long do I have until I have to make a decision? Okay. And why is that important? Because imagine that your employer said, I need this done by this date, and you have a week to get it done. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get it done. You're going to get it done if you have to stay up late. You're going to get it done if you have to stay late at the office. You're going to do whatever it takes to get that done because you were told to do it. That's your job description to do it. But within our own self, we don't put any pressure on ourselves as far as like, you got to get this thing done, right? If right now you're saying to yourself, well, I got to build my website, but I really don't want to yet because it seems like it's going to be a huge pain in the butt, but I really got to do it. And you just keep procrastinating, right? Give yourself a week. It's got to be done right now, right? Like you just put that on the calendar. Has to be done, right? And so this way here, you're giving yourself a deadline and you're putting some pressure on yourself to get it done. You can't give yourself an open-ended time limit. It just doesn't work, right? Because we're just going to be like, I'll do it next week. I'll start that then. We'll get to it. No, you got to actually commit to it and you got to actually give yourself a deadline. So let me recap them. You might want to write these down, okay? Number 1, what has me stuck right now? Number 2, how can I get this thing figured out? Okay, whatever that thing has got you stuck, how can I get this figured out? How can I find my niche? How can I find my product? How can I build my website? Ask that question, okay? And then you're going to answer it, right, on how you can do it because your brain's going to be cranking away to try to figure that out. And number 3, how long do I have until it has to be done, right? So this way here, it has to be done. So at that time, you better get cranking. If you know what, if it's Sunday and you've put it off, it's kind of like that term paper in high school or college. You got to get it done by midnight, right? You got to get it done, right? You got to put those types of deadlines on yourself or else we won't get it done. We won't, okay? So that's what I got for you. The other thing is remember this, okay? Actions create results. Results create momentum, okay? Because what happens here is we take an action, okay? That creates a result. That result can be good. It can be bad. It can be just okay. Doesn't matter. It's still a result. We learn from it, okay? And then we can do this same exact exercise to the next thing. What has me stuck now? Building a website, creating content, finding my product. And then you just follow this exact same formula. All right. So 3 steps to you getting unstuck, creating momentum, and getting results faster. All right. That is what I got for you guys today. All right. So if you guys have any quick questions, be more than happy to jump in here and answer them. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Pacing Chicago. Scott, this is great. I never have people talk early with my coffee. Well, here I am, 9 a.m. Eastern. Except here's the thing, though. Tomorrow's Easter. We are going to take tomorrow off. It's a holiday, and we are going to take tomorrow off. We'll be back Monday morning, though. Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. Karen, the best advice you gave me at BAL is start. You were so right. Business is moving forward because I am taking action. And that is absolutely correct. BAL, by the way, is Brand Accelerator Live. That was our live event last year. Salama, first step reveals another and then another. Absolutely. You see? See how that works? All right. And then Salama again, were you scared when you started your business? How did you overcome the fear? Yeah, let me share a quick story with you. I've been scared a lot. This book right here that I wrote is all about me being scared and then facing it. And then those, different moments, those take action moments, as I call them, those moments are what then brought me to where I am. Right here where I'm sitting today with you, there was a lot of fear in just getting to this point. Every single thing that I've ever done had fear. But here's what I've always done. I've always created what I call these little safety nets. And what that basically means is as I'm building a skill set, I'm also creating security for myself. So what I mean by that is every time I'm learning something, I can take that and apply it to something else, right? So if everything was to go away right now and I didn't have what I have, I still have the knowledge. I still have this stuff up here. So that right there to me is my safety net, right? I could go work for a marketing agency. I could go work for myself and just go out and solicit businesses and help them get business through the door because I've done it long enough, right? I could go and do Photoshop editing because I've done that before, right? And I could do restorations. I could do video editing. I could do all of that, right? I could coach people that are wanting to write a book because I've written one now, right? There's all of these different things that we're able to do once we have experience, but you have to take action in order to get the experience, right? So yeah, so one thing way back in the day, and I share this story in my book, is when I was, what's up, Sal? What's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you and your family are doing well, brother. I miss you. I was missing you in Puerto Rico, man. I wanted to be there so bad, but with this whole Corona thing, it just didn't happen. But Sal, man, what's up, brother? Okay, so back in the day when I was working construction, when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I thought I was going to own that company with my father, and then his partner and him it was like a bad marriage. And so basically, I seen very early on that it probably wasn't going to be the case. So then my wife and I started a part-time photography business. And then our hopes were to turn that into a full-time business. But I had no idea how to run a business, like everything that went into business. I didn't know anything about photography. My wife didn't know anything about photography. So we just started to learn that process and not even looking at YouTube because YouTube wasn't around. So, and we didn't even have digital back then. It was film. So there was a lot more hurdles then, but we did it because we were determined to do it, right? And so as we built this side hustle, it came a point that my wife said to me, listen, we got to make a decision. We're approaching the fourth quarter. That's when all the business is generally coming in for, family portraits and stuff. And so we had to make the decision. And she said, listen, if we're going to grow this, you got to quit your job. And I was like, okay, like that's like everything that's bringing in the money right now. Like that's all of it. And I was working side jobs to make extra money. And so she had said to me, she goes, but what do we have to lose? Like if something happens and this doesn't work, you can just go do some remodeling jobs. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I could. I've got plenty of contacts, because I've been doing it so long. I've got contractor buddies of mine. I've got people that are home builders. I could easily just let them know that I'm back in business or by myself. And so, so I had that. So I left my job, gave my 2 weeks, which was scary as heck, by the way, but I did it. And I remember the day that I went full time, I walked down the stairs, never forget it, walked down my stairs in a house that I built, by the way, by myself in 11 months as I was working full time. So that's another story. So people say they don't have time. I don't believe that. You can make time. It's just a matter of priorities. And so I remember walking downstairs and taking my coffee, looking out the window, and we had a field. and it was about 2 acres. And I remember saying, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is the first day that I haven't had to report to work, and this feels awesome. But man, can I do it? Can this work? Am I going to be back swinging a hammer? Am I going to have to go do that? So I had all these doubts, all of these fears. But let me just say, I never had to swing a hammer for money again after that day, ever. I never have been paid for swinging a hammer since then. And that was actually right around 9/11. 9/11, when that happened, it was, I remember it. I was on the house, my last house that I was working on, 9/11 happened, and I was there for an additional 2 weeks. So I know that. So yeah, so, and then, okay, I'll give you another one real quick. I mean, I was nervous about starting the podcast, right? I'm like, well, who's going to listen to me? Who really cares about what I have to say? And here we are, 800 plus episodes later, millions of downloads, reaching people globally, all over the world, helping people, doing what I love. But I had a fear that I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't, educated enough, or any of that stuff. So we all have these fears. The way that I face them is I face them. And I always put a safety net in place. The more knowledge that and not even just knowledge, the more experience that I have. Knowledge is one thing, but it's the experience that comes with taking the action to see what happens, right? That's the big one. So that's what I would say there. So hopefully that helped you. And yes, I was scared. I'm still scared at different things. I was scared last year to do our first live event. I was scared last year to write this book, right? But I did it. And I'm not here to tell you that fear goes away, because it doesn't. But that fear also makes us grow, right? It's huge. Yeah, you face fear with action. What's up? Is it Gordy? I can't say it. I think is that Todd? Todd, is that you? What's up, Carlos? What's up, brother? Now it is the entrepreneurial hammer. Yes. Nice, man. Glad to see you, brother. It's not, I have the wrong name on that one. Sorry about that. Okay. So, let's see. Kathleen, what's up? Hello to you. Nadeem, hey, what's up? Awesome. And then Tim says, and Tim, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back. And super happy to have you here again. I have felt stuck for the past 20 months until I found Coffee with Scott, because now I start every day, 7 a.m. Pacific time, working on my business for 30 minutes a day. I work on it while you talk. It gives me daily accountability and motivation. And sometimes that's all we need. So yeah, Tim, whatever works, right? And so what I would definitely recommend is also carve out, and this is really important. This is a big one. Carve out 1 hour a week. You can do 30 minutes, but 1 hour a week to plan what you are going to be working on that week. We do this inside of the academy. Every Monday, I get on a live and I show my notebook, and I take a notebook and I draw boxes and I just write out my tasks. And then from there, I write down my projects, I write down the tasks that go into them, and then I map out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then that way it's there. And it doesn't mean I get it all done, but at least I have a map of what it looks like. And then when I sit down and I can focus on what I'm working on, that's what I do, right? So it's really important to not get distracted. But so Tim, for you, I would call this, okay, so Coffee with Scott for you is kind of like an anchor or an activator that says, okay, I need to show up. I need to get some work done. There's this book that I've been reading, which I love, Tiny Habits, right? It's great. And it talks all about anchors. So these little anchors, so one that I share a lot is that something that I started doing is every time that I get out of the shower, obviously I get changed, I get dressed though, I'll do push-ups on the counter, not on the counter, but against the counter. I'll do 50 push-ups now. So that's part of the day. I installed that into my day. So whether I ever exercise during the day or not, I get those 50 in. Another one that I do, it's exercise included, is on my second cup of coffee. As the coffee is brewing, I go to my garage where my gym is, and I do, 15 reps of something, right? And then that way I get another thing in there. So a lot of times we need these anchors, and this here could be an anchor, by the way. This every time that I do one of these, we're able to, kind of like, okay, I got to get there. That's on my schedule to do. And that's also something that triggers it for you. So we need these little anchors, these little trigger points. And that's what I'm learning in this book, which I love it. It's the small things that add up to a lot. But thanks for sharing that. Can I give you my notebook? No, I can't. Just because it's a notepad. I mean, I could give you it, but I wouldn't be able to give you it with all of my secret ideas in there. It was funny. I said to my kids the other day, I go, hey guys, I go, if you if something ever happens to me, take my notebooks and just go through them. You'll probably find a few $1 million ideas in there. Salama, what books have you recommended your children to read? One of them would be this for sure. That one right there. And I love the bookmark that comes with it. This book will change your life. Tiny Habits. So yeah. And then another one, well, I definitely have them read this one. They got to read this one. They're in it a little bit. But that'll help them. And the other one is, the other one that's really good is The Compound Effect. That one there was really an impactful book for me because, again, it's small little things. And even though sometimes it overlaps each other, that's really what I'm about. It's like, how do I get to take consistent action, keep my mindset right, and just stay focused and stay, keeping things simple. Because as we start to overcomplicate things, it becomes more confusing, then we just don't do it. And can I do a Facebook Live showing your 1 hour planning? Yeah, I can do that one day. I'll do that on a coffee talk for sure. Yeah, we'll do that, Salama, for sure. Derek says, I need your secrets. They're right here. Like literally. Honestly though, guys, my secrets are this, and it's really simple when it comes to business. Okay. There's, Maisie's got her secrets. That's my Bernese Mountain Dog Doodle mix, my Bernedoodle. So it's very simple in business for me. I have to find a market. I have to validate there's traffic. I have to validate that I can build an email list, and I have to validate that there's money running, through that market. And that's really it. So it breaks down to that. It is very simple. But if you figure that stuff out, I've never went wrong. Right? I never went wrong when I figure out that I can get attention in a market, get traffic, and then from there show up and give value, always deliver value, and then from there offer products of either my own or people's that I recommend, or serve them up ads that are running through that website and that blog. That's it. Like literally, like that is the secret sauce. I wouldn't be saying like, let's go and invent the newest product that's going to change the world. I think that's risky. Now, I'm not saying we don't want people that are going to be like, let's go ahead and invent this thing that's going to help change the world. Yes. But for me, again, we're talking about reducing the amount of risk. I personally, I just look at it like I want to validate a market before I go into a market. And then I want to also validate that I have this potential down the line. And Karen said, because of COVID-19, my daycare has been closed. I've been working hard on my new business, which is gaining some momentum. That's awesome. So trying to decide on closing the daycare so I can keep moving business forward. My husband is keeping an open mind. I could go either way. What do you think? I think right now I would not decide that. I think right now it's decided for you. So until we start to hear that there's going to be a lift and then we're going to kind of go back to normal, I would just keep head down and keep building your business every single day that you can right now because you have the time. And so that's what I would be doing. And I wouldn't make that decision as of yet. Or the other thing is you could possibly scale it back. Instead of doing as many, kids right now, maybe do less, something like that. So hopefully that helped you, Karen. And yeah, we do need some of the income the daycare produces. Yeah. So maybe that's scaling back, and maybe it's maybe it's after school care only. And that way there you have, the whole day up until after school, something like that. And Salama, did you build your business in a way that you can sell it someday if you wanted to, and how? Yes. The Amazing Seller, no, because that's a podcast really that I started, and a lot of it is about, is around me. So that's harder to sell, right? A company like that. But everything else that we're doing, that we're building, any type of brand, always is looking at if it's going to be sold, can it, how easily to hand the keys over to someone else. So yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense to think that through for sure. And Derek, what products do you recommend in the health and fitness, and what is your favorite tools for finding the product of choice? But again, Derek, I'm not looking at products right now. Like that's the thing, and I keep hearing this over and over and over again. So I'm not looking at products. What I would say to you is, how can you help? First off, let's call a timeout. Let's think about in health and fitness, that's so wide. Okay, what part in health and fitness are you helping with? What is the sub niche that you got to go narrower. When you're going into a market that's so broad and so big like that, you got to find the angle. Is it keto? Is it paleo? Is it Pilates? Is it, what is it, right? And then you start to go down that road of like, how do I create assets that bring in traffic, evergreen assets that bring in traffic? And then I can think about diversification as far as revenue. If we're starting with the product in mind, then we're banking on the product. I'm looking at, okay, let's look at products that are being sold, and let me go ahead and create some content around those and then give my opinions on those and reviews that bring in traffic to the audience that's looking for those types of products that are in my market. That's what I would do. But again, starting with what products would I choose and what tool do I use to find products? I don't use a tool right now other than Jungle Scout gives me an idea, but I'm not going to just go to Jungle Scout and go find me a product. Like that's not the angle that I would go. I would validate it. If I'm going to source my own product, I'm going to use Jungle Scout. If I'm not sourcing my own product, I just look at products on the best-selling products that are on Amazon that I could be an affiliate for. That's it. And then I create content around it. That's simple. Okay, one more quick question here. Thomas, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? From YouTube. Thank you for stopping by. Salomon, what is your secret sauce? Secret sauce is find the market. Don't worry about finding the product yet. Everybody gets paralyzed in that I got to find the perfect product or I got to find the perfect niche. Sub niche down first, but always allow yourself room to come out of the niche and go broader. That's the secret sauce. All right, guys, that is it. I said I was going to keep this short. We're already at 35 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. But guys, I'll be back here Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you have any other questions, you can drop them in there. I'll do my best to answer them. And come back Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Enjoy your holiday tomorrow if you're celebrating Easter. And yeah, I know a lot of us aren't going to be spending time with our outside family just because of the whole lockdown. So do it virtually. Create a Zoom room and just go on there and get your friends and family on there and get face to face that way. And that'll suffice for now. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Yeah, we'll be talking to you soon. Sal, love you, brother, and thanks for stopping by. And stay safe and enjoy that Puerto Rico sun though for me. All right, guys, got to wrap. Take care, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.